technical issues. I am actually in Turkey, traveling at the moment, so connecting through a hotel Wi-Fi is probably not the best experience. So, listen, we have a fantastic lineup, and we are going to preview the Fulham game. I have the Starstruck. Yep, let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, bada bing, bada bing, bush, bush, bush. It's Monday. I think we will slap you 3-1. Feel like, you're feeling more confident.
Slightly more confident. No offense, Carl. But, yeah, to beat these guys.
It's an hour because we were brilliant.
Premier goal at Old Trafford. Jaden's the line. What a clearance. He's had a check. Goal.
Hello to my little friend.
And say hello to my little friends. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mufc Realist TV. And I have my starting 11. My bench warmers didn't come, so I have two. Where should I start? To the left, to the right, bottom? Where we go from here? I go from, wait a minute, here. It will be left, right. Dan, Corfield from Red Devils TV. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good, pal. Yeah. Struggling on 2 hours sleep, but we'll just get this done and talk about all things United. Can't wait.
Yeah, you gotta pack yourself with 6 packs of Red Bull. Not that we are sponsored by it.
Monster is also available.
All right, below we have Niall. Talk football. How you doing, mate? This Saturday,
Yeah.
you buzzing over the City loss, or how are we feeling?
Not yet. I'll wait until tomorrow's result first before I laugh at it.
Okay. And finally, to the left here. Oh, actually, right here. My captain, captain, Mr. Phil Standish, Football Philosophy. Welcome to the stream. You made it. We're waiting for you, mate. You right?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. All right. We're 5 minutes late.
Good.
We're waiting for you.
Sorry about that. A few technical issues trying to log on. Yeah, apologies.
Yeah. The gaffer won't leave.
Hopefully.
Don't worry. The gaffer won't kick off his team without the captain on the field.
Working, so not sure, but I'm in anyway. So looking forward to the game tomorrow.
You're welcome. Yeah. On and off, but lads, it's been an interesting week.
In today's games.
Yeah, lads, we had a very interesting week, and looking at the games they played today, obviously City lost, which is 2-1 against Brentford, which we got pumped as well, 4-0, didn't we? Right now, looking at Spurs are kind of losing against Leeds, which is pretty good for the league table anyway. So things will play out pretty nice later on tonight, I guess, against when Newcastle is playing Chelsea as well. So I will start with Dan, with you, mate. How's you went to the game on Thursday, didn't you?
Yes.
How was the atmosphere? The comeback kings.
Well, to be fair, I was in the Stretford end, the best part of Old Trafford, to be honest, and. Really, the first half, United were just trying to back our players, but we were kind of moaning and stuff because obviously the first half just wasn't good standards at all for Manchester United and this Ten Hag quality of football. But when the second half started and Villa scored straight away from pretty much kick-off, Villa fans started chanting, "Who are you? Who are you?" to Manchester United fans. So obviously, how intelligent Manchester United fans are at times. So obviously, we waited for our moment to get our revenge, and obviously United scored our equaliser. We waited, then Villa scored again, and then Villa fans started singing "Who are you?" again. Then United go 2-2, then 3-2. And then when 4-2 happened, that's when we got our revenge and started chanting, "Who are you? Who are you?" And then we said cheerio as they left the stadium with their heads looking at the floor.
Yeah.
But no, being at the Stretford end as well is that it was great atmosphere because that was the first time I've ever been in the Stretford end, and the passion that I saw from them United fans was just reminding me of how much that people like us have when it comes to Manchester United, and it was absolutely brilliant. And I feel like that every single United fan is behind Ten Hag at the moment and these players. I feel like we all understand that this is a rebuild, and certain players that are currently at Manchester United don't suit Ten Hag's system. But I feel like that every United fan is giving them players a clean slate because they're giving a chance to prove themselves. Really.
Any particular player in mind that you think doesn't suit Ten Hag's style of play, or
I would say mainly the slower players and the less attacking minded players, and so I feel like that. Obviously, I said this in my match reaction for the Thursday game against Villa, and I said that Maguire, as much as I actually like Maguire, I feel like that he does have a lot of positives when it comes to Manchester United, because I feel like obviously Mitrovic is out for tomorrow's game.
Yeah,
and I feel
yeah.
like if you're playing an opposition with a physical striker, then Maguire is perfect for a game like that. I feel like it's just that his lack of pace is where he gets caught out on, and his decision making. Now, obviously, I know a lot of people say he's not a captain and stuff, and that may be true, but I feel like that's not enough to be able to scrutinise a player like Maguire, just because they've been given the captaincy role and the fans' opinion is that he's not a captain. That doesn't mean he's a bad player, because he's playing at Manchester United. He's playing for the best club in the world. So he's obviously done something right in his career, whether that's poor scouting from United's behalf or Maguire just hasn't been used and doesn't suit a back two, really, where he has to play with just one centre-back instead of a back three. So I would say Maguire, because I feel like his only issue is his lack of pace. And I feel like that if you're playing a high line like Ten Hag, Maguire even needs to play a lot deeper, which then won't allow the high line to work, because then players can just get in behind and just run at him, which then the offside trap won't happen. So I feel like that Lindelof, even though Lindelof isn't the quickest, I feel like Lindelof has some kind of recovery pace, which edges him over Maguire at the moment. And I would say the other issue is players with poor possession quality. So I would say Fred is a big one, where obviously Fred for me is a very 1 out of 5 game player, where he'll have one good game and then for 4 games after that he'll play Fred type football.
Yep.
And I feel like that's his issue. Like, if Fred played like he did against Spurs every single game and every single chance he got, I would hand him a contract with a bonus. But I feel like that because he's so inconsistent and his contract is up in the summer, I would not offer Fred a new contract in the summer. I just feel like that even though we are going through a rebuild and you do want a workhorse like Fred, I just think his quality isn't good enough. And
We've got two workhorses, haven't we? Fred and McTominay. One's 30 with a year on his contract. The other one's 26 with however many years.
Exactly.
You're going to keep McTominay, aren't you? Business-wise.
Exactly. And the fact that McTominay is also a homegrown talent and we haven't spent much on him, it's just been wages we've only spent on him, that's why.
And he's one of the cheapest earners as well.
Exactly. I think he's on something like 90 grand a week or something. McTominay is.
I think it's less than that. I think it's like 65 or something.
It might be. I'm not too sure, but I know Fred is on 120 grand a week.
Yeah.
So I feel I personally, before this season, I rated Fred over McTominay, because I feel like McTominay isn't a holding midfielder. I feel like he's better going forward, making them box-to-box runs. I mean, we saw that on Thursday against Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Garnacho, where obviously he had that shot and he hit the bar, and then obviously Garnacho with that beautiful cross, and then obviously McTominay got his foot to it and scored the goal. So McTominay is more dangerous when it comes to a box-to-box.
Fred weren't getting that foot on that, was it?
Yeah, so it was. I feel like that's where you can use McTominay, and I feel like McTominay liked a lot this season. He's been one of our most improved players. So for me, I feel like that the only two players. Actually, no, I'm going to say another one. I'm going to also say Ronaldo. I do feel like that even though Ronaldo, I respect the hell out of him. He's been an absolute legend. He's been obviously one of the greatest footballers who've ever lived, but he does not suit a Ten Hag system. And I feel like that United play better without Ronaldo. But that's just my opinion. You might have a different opinion. So that's why I know he didn't train today, and he wasn't on the bench for Villa. So either that's an injury or an illness, because obviously we know United have a bug going around at the moment with Sancho being off ill, Wan-Bissaka now as well. So it's either an excuse that Ten Hag's using just because then your fans
An
can't
excuse.
it, or they actually are ill and they just can't play. But I remember a few weeks ago, Rashford was ill and he came on off the bench. So I feel like that if a player is ill and Ten Hag feels like he doesn't need them, then I feel like he just won't play him on the bench or anything like that. But I feel like if it's a player like Rashford, an important player for Manchester United, then Ten Hag will keep him on the bench.
Niall, what do you reckon? Barring what happened last week with the comeback, we're now qualified for the fourth round. This is kind of the last game. I would call it the midterms, and then we won't see the boys kicking the football until another 4 weeks away, and there will be the Burnley game, right, in Carabao Cup. Do you agree what Dan is saying, or is there anything that you want to add on to it, or?
I think the illness is just bullshit. Because have you noticed the illness is with Wan-Bissaka, who's not played a game all season. He's not wanted him from the start of the season, and he's showing the owners, I do not want this guy. I told you this in the summer, so I'm not playing him. Sancho could be ill because of the reports that we've seen regarding England and Southgate, saying that his timekeeping is why he was not brought to the England squad. Now, Ten Hag is an authoritarian. He won't like bad timekeeping either. So I think that actually could be part of it in Ten Hag's decision for why Sancho has not been getting game time recently. As for...
But another thing...
Go on.
But another thing that I want to touch base on that, if we keep Park Sancho and comparing to Garnacho, which we can do later on. I mean, for me, Garnacho showed in that 20 minutes when he came on, 2 assists. He showed, what a really true winger is. Fearless, putting the right crosses about, do one-on-one challenges. This is something that I haven't seen Sancho doing, and we bought him for this, right? So is it a mental issue with him? Is it something, I don't know.
I just want to pick up on the Garnacho point with, obviously he's had a great couple of games, but so did Elanga when he first came into the frame, and look at him now. I do think Garnacho is way ahead of him.
Yeah.
Talent-wise, ceiling-wise, for potential, everything. So I don't think that'll happen with him. But at the minute, he gets ahead of Sancho, but that's purely because he seems to be a different person. When you look back at the clips at Dortmund, he was taking his men on. He was doing little tricks, step overs, turning people inside out. He was running for it and going at people, and he just doesn't do that anymore.
Sorry to interrupt you, but Sancho gives me very much Pogba and Sanchez vibes, where I feel like if he's not, if he needs to have an arm around his shoulder, I feel like he needs to, he can't be a player with competition, and I feel like that's where he panics, because I feel like Sancho just doesn't have the mentality to improve. We've seen Rashford over the summer. He's spoken openly about his mentality wasn't good last season, his mental health. But Sancho has looked in the mirror and realised that even though he wasn't playing in a good football system, he needs to also work on himself. And I feel like that when Rashford's been doing that this summer, Sancho hasn't, and I feel like that's why Rashford's improved this season the way he has, and Sancho is out of the team, and I feel like that it just speaks volumes.
So the weird thing is Martial was that type of player as well. As soon as competition came in, he fell off.
Yeah.
Whereas Shaw falls off, but when competition comes in, he steps up.
Martial this season, he's been playing much better when he's had them chances.
He knows he's Ten Hag's number 1 for the number 9. But the ironic thing with Sancho is he's actually more of a Ten Hag player than anyone we've got out wide. because he's technical. But,
Yeah.
so it's got to be an attitude thing, and possibly the timekeeping that Southgate mentioned.
Okay. Spurs just level up 2-2 against Leeds, according to my reports. Listen,
Bournemouth are winning 4-0.
I will pass the mic over to Phil. He's been in and out. He's got internet issues. But Phil, how are you feeling today, sir? And what's the general feeling? What's your take on Fulham? We're playing away. Mitrovic is injured. What do you got for us, sir?
Yeah, I think with Mick being out, that is our biggest bonus. I mean, he's been such an important player for them this season. I mean, I think the person who's going to have something to prove is going to be Pereira. I don't know if this has already been said. If it has, I apologise. Obviously, I've just been cut off. I'm sorry. So I'm back on now. Pereira going to be the difference for them. I'm not saying he's going to make the difference, but I think he's going to be giving his all. He's already got assists for the team, which is only 4. But most of those have been to Mitrovic, and Mitrovic playing through to Pereira as well has been a big part of the game. Since Mitrovic's injury, they obviously went 0-0 against Everton, and then lost 2-1 against City with only 10 men, and that was from the 23rd minute. And I know it was a last-minute penalty, but they just couldn't score without Mitrovic being there, sort of thing. So I think we've got a good chance tomorrow. I think like any other team where we've gone against, like when we think back to the season, much as we want to forget it, we need to remember we were looking at teams thinking, oh, they're a lesser team sort of thing, and turning up with the wrong attitude. I can't see Ten Hag letting that happen again. We saw it against Villa, in my opinion, last week. Historically against them we've done really well, and I think that's kind of the attitude we turned up with. I think we need to turn up with the attitude tomorrow that very much so we must win this game. This is not going to be an easy game. Just because Mitrovic is out, they're going to change their style of play, possibly put an extra midfielder in there to strengthen up, to secure up the wall thing, stop us getting through. But I think with the form of Garnacho, I think he'll probably start on the left. I think with Ronaldo being ill, shall we say, I think that gives Martial a chance to start up front with Rashford on the right. Which is a shame because Rashford's best position is not on the right.
That's why I think it'll be the other way around. Garnacho will probably go to the right.
I feel like Garnacho will be on the right.
Do you think Garnacho will be on the right? Yeah.
I think
Garnacho will be on the right.
Yeah, over Rashford. Yeah.
I feel like that Ten Hag it won't prioritise Garnacho's best position over Rashford's best position. That's it. And I also
Rashford
feel
said
like
in the interview
because I also feel like as well that Garnacho is a bit more creative than what Rashford is as well. So I feel like and we saw that cross against the Aston Villa for McTominay's goal. Is that we saw that Garnacho is now like we've seen Garnacho run at defenders, which is really good. We've seen him do his skill moves and everything. Now we're starting to see creativity from him. He's improving with each game that's going on, and I feel like that now that at such a young age that he is that we need to protect this player, and we need to just not overhype him. And I think because I feel like that 20-minute cameo he had against Aston Villa when he came on for the Carabao Cup. That was probably the best 20 minutes I've seen in my lifetime from a youth player. And I rate him more than a certain number 11 who we shall not mention. I rate him more than Alanga. And I feel like that Garnacho has been like technically Ryan Giggs excitement level. That's just the way I see it.
I've read some comments this week about Giggs being compared to Giggs, not in terms of like he's going to be as good as Giggs or whatever, but he's got the potential to be. Because obviously Giggs is such a legend of the club with what he achieved, and Garnacho's got to go on to be consistent and not just have a couple of games. Because I think one of the things that's really working for Garnacho at the moment is other teams don't know him, so they're still learning about him. But very quickly they're going to find out his strengths, and so that's when it gets harder. You look at Rashford, and you mentioned Rashford and stuff. He's done all this in the past. He's done these skills. He's done taking the players on and stuff. And I think
Garnacho right now is what Rashford was when he came through.
Exactly, and it's the freshness and before players work out how to beat you, and that's why we need to use that. So I know you're comparing him against other players and stuff, but he's certainly got off to the right start. But I think from what Ten Hag's hinted at in the last several interviews, Garnacho had a bit of a off the pitch issues, his attitude, and I think he's made it quite clear. If you want to play for this team, you play with the right attitude.
I think the
And
attitude
he's
was
not.
he felt he was too big for his own boots. He felt too
Yeah,
confident
well,
and
I think he
cocky,
sorted
whatever you
that
want to
straight
call
away,
it.
hasn't he? That's exactly it. Exactly that, mate. And I think that's it. I think that was such an important thing from the manager. Things that you don't really see behind the scenes. I think everyone's saying, why is Garnacho not starting? There must be something. There must be something. And those who were saying there must be something was absolutely right. There was something. We'll never know what it was. We don't need to know, but we know it was his attitude, and that's enough to know that he's got to get that right. You know, he's got this respect for Ronaldo, and which is great. He's clearly his idol and stuff. But as long as he takes all the good things from that and brings that into his own game, looks at where Ronaldo could have improved when he was younger. Everyone knows that when Ronaldo first joined and he came on against Bolton and stuff in his first season, he was too many lollipops, too many step overs, too many turns. He was always trying to do that wonderful moment, and he had to get that cross. But Garnacho straight away is getting a couple of skill moves in, and then getting the cross in and looking for the assists. He's not always going for glory, and I think that is his strength at the moment. He's playing as a team player on the wing, not bothered about scoring. If he scores, bonus. If he doesn't score, I mean, when he put that cross in the other day for McTominay, if you look at there's a camera angle which pans out, which has got Garnacho, and as soon as he crosses it in, he's like, yes, I've done my job.
I've seen
cheering,
it.
knowing he's
He knew what had happened.
do you know what I mean? He's whipped the ball in, and he's done his job, and it's a team game, and that is what it's about, and that's why I think he's going to have a chance.
Yeah,
I've
Ten Hag should try to ground him. Keep your feet on the ground, lad.
I feel like when it comes to Garnacho, that he's going to be the more messy type player, but if he can learn like how to take a shot like Ronaldo with that pure power, he's going to be absolutely lethal. I mean,
And work hard to be better.
Exactly, and what player can actually turn around and say, I played with Messi and Ronaldo at the end of their careers? Like, he's so gifted. And it's not even just Ronaldo and Messi. Don't forget how many quality players are at Argentina and United as well. So I feel like that players like Antony at United, the likes of Di Maria and even Lionel Messi, these wingers who are all left-footed can teach him like things as well. So it's not just the Messi and Ronaldos. I feel like that he's such a privileged player at such a young age to have so much veterans around him. I feel like he could become a really great player, but like I said, I don't want to overhype Garnacho at all, because look what happened. Look what happened with a certain.
Right. But I think having Martinez as well, an Argentinian in this.
Can I just say as well, though,
keep his feet on the ground. He'll do it.
As a United fan, how great is it that this kid is Argentinian? His idol should be Messi, but his idol is Ronaldo.
Yeah. I mean, he said it in an interview where he said that in Argentina you're taught to hate Ronaldo. And he's like, and I always felt like it was wrong, and I used to watch Ronaldo's games on illegal streams.
But here's the thing, like, you know, a straight fact, like, you know, which is quite interesting with Garnacho. I mean, we picked him up like from Villarreal. No, hang on, not Villarreal. Sorry. Oh, Atletico Madrid, 2020.
Yeah.
He was only there for 6 months. We picked him up for 420,000 quid. You know what I mean? So he's a very special talent. I've been watching him for quite a while and been waiting for him to get an opportunity. And now the reports are coming out that, you know, Barcelona is eyeballing him. And I tweeted out to say, like, wait another 5 years, he's ours. You know what I mean? So what's exciting for me is that he's been selected to cap for Argentina in Qatar World Cup. Now he's probably going to put out a fantastic display of show, and people's going to go, "Who is that? Who's that kid? Who? Garnacho?
No, Garnacho's not going to the World Cup.
He was selected, wasn't he?
No,
he wasn't. Okay.
No.
Well, bloody hell. Okay. Put some garnish on my nacho then.
Yeah, on your Garnacho.
No, but for me, he's a prospect. He's a diamond in the rough, and we've been dying out for a true winger that plays for the team, that puts in good crosses. That's what you guys said. Like, you know, he did that celebration. He pinged that beautiful cross over to McTominay, and that was it. You know. So all in general, like I'm excited the way we're moving forward. We are like in the midterms. We'll say last game tomorrow. Barring out the results, what's going on right now in the table, where do you guys think we will finish at the end of the season?
Can I just say regarding the World Cup thing, I think it just came a year or two too early for Canacho. Otherwise, it would have been in there.
Yeah, cool.
I think that's perfect. I think it's a good job it hasn't. They've not done a Walcott with him because the Walcott situation, that lifted him too high too quick, and I think that didn't help his career. I mean, I know he did all right for Arsenal, but I think that throwing him into the World Cup. Oh, we've got an exciting young player, let him in. I think that was a mistake, and I think leaving Garnacho behind only benefits United because obviously we've got that away game against Cadiz. It's not a chance. It's not obviously a competitive game, but it's going to be a game that Ten Hag will treat as competitive, give a chance to really bed his ideas in and stuff like that. Let him know.
You've got to look at the likes of Iqbal and Savage and stuff.
Yeah, I have a super chat for Fahim Faisal. Dalot is suspended, we know that. For tomorrow's game, who will be our right back? What do you panel think?
For me, it'll be Lindelof or Malacia.
I was just about to say that. I feel like that, in my opinion, even though Lindelof can play right back, I would still go for Malacia because I think you still need a natural fullback. Even though I would rather play a left-sided fullback over a centre back because I feel like that. Every team, who is that really fast? Dan James. They have Dan James, don't they, on the wing?
Yeah.
And we know how fast he was when he was at Manchester United. So I feel like you've got to have a pacer.
That's a good shout.
A pacey back. So I feel like that I would only play Malacia over Lindelof just because of like the threat. That's all.
That's a good shout. That I didn't think about Dan James.
Oh, I thought he was at Leeds.
And I would play.
I thought he was at Leeds.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he is at Leeds.
No,
yeah,
he's on. He is at Leeds, but he's on loan at Fulham.
Is
Oh,
it?
really? No. There we go.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, now. Okay.
Didn't know that. It was Willian I was bothered about. Willian. But I do think Malacia, I think he will be the one on the right wing. Absolutely.
Me too. 100%.
Right wing.
I think that when Lindelof's played right back, he's kind of almost what you put me here for, sort of thing. Yeah, right back. Sorry, I think putting right wing back. I was going to say, but right back. I think when we've seen Lindelof though, he just doesn't have that that vision of what's coming, sort of thing. He's better as a centre back, looking what's happening and making the difference.
To be fair, Lindelof's only gone to right back because Varane's been injured and Hivi's needed Maguire for height in a game. That's the only reason he's gone right back. And then if you notice at half time or so, he brings Malacia on at right back.
All right.
But now there's no Mitrovic.
I've seen
it probably will be Malacia.
Right back before.
Yeah,
I think so.
I agree with you because the evidence that I've seen, he will not play Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He doesn't fancy him.
No.
He's pretty much on the chopping block for January transfer. We saw that.
Agreed.
Yeah, we saw that in which game was that? When he did a sub, he took Dalot off and he had Aaron Wan-Bissaka and had Malacia.
He put in Lindelof.
No, he put in Malacia as a right back instead over Aaron.
No, he made two subs if I remember correctly. He put Lindelof at right back, and then he brought Malacia on and shifted Lindelof into centre back.
Yes, he did.
That's right.
Definitely. So I believe if we don't see Aaron Wan-Bissaka tomorrow, he's out. Definitely, he's out.
Oh, yeah. He's 100% gone. He didn't want him.
For Wan-Bissaka to stake his claim, which we know is not going to happen. But the fact that Ten Hag, if he starts with Malacia and Wan-Bissaka doesn't start, that's the end of it. It's just curtains, isn't it? It's confirmation.
Malacia is only playing while the World Cup's going on. He's just playing in the friendlies. That's it.
Phil, are you a journalist? Is that right?
Not at all. No.
I thought you were a journalist for some reason. Anyway, I heard that. I can't remember what source it was, but I remember seeing something about West Ham coming for Aaron Wan-Bissaka in the summer, and they offered 10 to 15 million for him, and United thought that it was it wasn't enough
Yeah,
money.
it's
But
too
I
low.
honestly feel like now, I feel like that now that United would accept that to obviously get funds for,
He'll go
because
back to
obviously they're
Palace, mate.
seeing that one.
It was Palace as well.
Yeah,
Palace wanted him as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he'll go back
yeah.
to Palace.
I hope
I think we saw it with Zaha, didn't we? Zaha
Well,
came to United, and his best games have been at Palace. There's no doubt. I mean, we know
but
the issues with Moisey's daughter, whoever it was, we don't know.
yeah,
But we do know that he had issues at United, and it's a shame because Zaha is a quality player, and under the right manager, would have been fantastic for us.
yeah. I think
he
if
was absolutely
Fergie
made up
stayed on, he would have been. If Fergie stayed on, he would have
Yeah,
been.
well,
But Fergie
absolutely.
signed him,
Yeah,
loaned him
absolutely.
back, didn't he, for the rest of the season, and then retired. It would have been a different ball game if he'd stayed.
Absolutely. And it was a shame. It was a shame it didn't work out because we had a very good talent there.
Yeah.
And I think it's a shame for Wan-Bissaka as well. For whatever reason, he just hasn't. You know, we got off to a great start. I was one of the fans who was buzzing when we got him. I know we paid 55 million for him, and I thought, do you know what? If that's what you're going to pay, that's what you're going to pay. I think he
But
did get off to a great start. You know, everyone was like, "Oh, the Spider's out, fantastic! Look at those tackles." But
Yep.
Farm was like we were talking about Garnacho before. He soon got found out, and players learned to play around that, and he had to learn to play on his feet, and he couldn't do that
Yeah.
because his strength in his slide tackle. But I always say to kids when I'm training them, maybe if you slide tackling, it's because you've already missed the first tackle.
yeah, good shout.
Well, we bought him under a different manager, under a different playing style, so that was suiting that playing style, right? You know,
Yeah.
the first season, the Spider-Man, he was brilliant. But ever
Better
since
than
that,
Aaron
like,
better than
Aaron
Trent
Ramsdale.
Alexander-Arnold, apparently.
Yeah, true. But
defensively he is. Going forward, he isn't.
apparently, Ten Hag doesn't rate him at all. We've seen that, and we spoke to David Lavelle as well. That's involved in getting a transfer move for him as well. So it's gonna happen. It's just are we willing to take a loss? I think
But
so.
Mick, this is what does my head in. I said it at the start of the season. Ten Hag told the board/owners, "I do not want
did.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka."
He
They
did.
said, "Well, we do not want to take a £15 million loss on him."
Yep. And
He
same.
said, "Well, I'm not going to be playing him. So if anything, now we're going to take even more of a loss because now he's not
Yeah.
played for a full season or half season."
And
Um,
also
Go ahead.
he expressed his opinion regarding Harry Maguire as well. So I
Yeah.
know that Harry Maguire was on the transfer list at the end of the summer, but we just couldn't find anyone that would willing to take him on for that price.
That's no surprise, is it?
I mean, I feel like, obviously with reports coming out, I spoke to Mick because Mick asked me if I want to do a certain topic for today's show. And last night we had reports coming out that Ten Hag and Manchester United are willing to allow offers for Harry Maguire, as well as they're not offering Fred a new contract in the summer. So I feel like now that it could be fake news, it could not be, but it's a topic. So obviously we're going to talk about it because obviously it's quite big news. So obviously the World Cup's coming up, so United will probably be linked to about 1,000 different players during the World Cup's going on and stuff like that, because January's coming up after the World Cup, and I feel like United will be a load of fake news will be happening, is what I'm trying to say. But I feel like that we do need to address this. Is that I feel like the likes of Van der Beek will go, and I feel like Wan-Bissaka will go. I think they're two players that will go in January because Van der Beek's had interest from Valencia and Inter Milan, I believe, for January, and Wan-Bissaka has been interested by West Ham as they lost Ryan Fredericks in the summer to, I think it was Bournemouth, I think he went to. Is that right? So
Yep.
I feel like that obviously they're missing a right back. So obviously I think they've got, I think his name's Kufal, I think his name is. So
He's at
yeah,
West Ham, isn't
I feel like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. West Ham. So, so as I was saying, I feel like that Van der Beek and Wan-Bissaka will go. But the question is, though, is that because the Glazers have already said there's no money for them to spend, so it'll be entirely on players that we sell. So I feel like that with Van der Beek and Wan-Bissaka, you could accumulate about 30 to 35 million for the both of them.
I don't think Van der Beek's going.
No,
He-
hang on.
he
Can
might-
I?
He might not be, but sorry, Mick. Let me just carry
Yeah.
on. And
Yeah.
I feel like that Tielemans is perfect for United because he's already said to Leicester he's not signing a new contract. So Leicester will probably try and want to cash out. So if we offer about 5 to 10 million, that's a bargain you can snatch like that.
100%.
And also as well, again, because I've been looking at free agents that are decent quality players that Ten Hag has looked at either at Ajax or at Manchester United. And Pavard at Bayern Munich, his also contract is expiring in the summer, and and Bayern Munich have said they're not offering him a new contract. So strictly speaking, there is two low-priced players you can get that would revolutionise the squad, because I feel like revolutionise is a massive word, but I feel like that Pavard, we've seen what he's done for Bayern Munich. We've seen what he's done for France. He's a very quality backup right back, and I feel like he would give a lot of competition. And I feel like Tielemans gives you something that we don't have. I feel like he's a proper ball-winning midfielder. Like Casemiro is just not. I feel like he's more of an attacking ball winner instead of
he's
Casemiro.
Got more technique as well.
So I feel like let's say, for example, right, United get rid of Donny van de Beek and Wan-Bissaka in January, we could then sign Tielemans and Pavard for probably the price that we sell the Van de Beek and Wan-Bissaka for. And then you could put someone like Tielemans in Eriksen's position, because as much as I like Eriksen, my frustration with him is that he doesn't win enough tackles, he doesn't get stuck in enough. And I can get the stats up that he doesn't win enough tackles, he doesn't win enough ball, he doesn't win interceptions at all. Casemiro's left to do all that line of work. So if you allowed Tielemans to go in Eriksen's position and then allow Eriksen and Bruno to fight the number 10 position, then there's no need for Van de Beek. So that's what I'm saying. So I feel like that is the perfect January transfer window that United could have, because then you bring in two players in that Ten Hag has already said that he wants, and the cheap. So what is there to lose?
Oh, well, I'm just going back what Simon Davis is saying. United, unfortunately, would be held for ransom. So many deals at the moment. Yeah, but as I said, if I can come back to you, Dan, on that one, I always say that this is a weird, unprecedented World Cup. We never played in the winter, so you can almost treat the January transfer window as the summer transfer window. Barring what Erik ten Hag has said, regarding Donny van de Beek, he's not for sale at the moment at all. I don't see Donny van de Beek going in January. I see him in that case. If it doesn't work out, he will go in summer, right?
But Mick, can I just interrupt you with that? Because I feel like that even though Ten Hag does probably back Van de Beek, and obviously we know that Ten Hag doesn't have favourites, as we can see, because he will drop players at any time if they're not performing well. But I feel like a player like Van de Beek, like Lisandro Martinez, and Antony, these players who he's had in his previous club at Ajax, he will have more favouritism over, strictly speaking. So I feel like he would give Van de Beek a bit more of a chance, and probably and maybe he will keep him. But strictly speaking, I feel like that Van de Beek, when we signed him, for, I think it was at 35 or 38 million we bought Van de Beek for.
Yeah, it was around 40 mil.
It was around 40
million. Give or take 5 mil, yeah.
And I feel like that was the perfect price for Van de Beek at that point, because the season beforehand, he was in the Ballon d'Or shortlist. I think he placed 27th, I think it was. So he was in the top players of the season. So for me, he came in as a really exciting player, but then obviously he's just not worked out at Manchester United, and it seems that like Van de Beek is like when you go to the car dealership. As soon as you buy that car and you drive out that parking lot, you lose the value of by 50%. That's how I describe Van de Beek, and for me, in recent times, Ten Hag has obviously he was out injured, and I feel like Van de Beek, maybe his match sharpness isn't ready, and that's why he's not performing too well. But over the last 3 or 4 games, he's played Van de Beek, and if this was an audition that Van de Beek to be a first teamer for Erik ten Hag, he's not getting the part. That's the best way
Personally, my quick opinion on it is we're going to focus on getting rid of Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Brandon Williams and stuff. And Donny van de Beek and Sancho, we've got until summer to prove that they're saying
I don't think Sancho will go for at least another season yet. I feel like Ten Hag he hasn't had enough time to focus on actual individuals.
This World Cup break is key for them both.
Exactly. Yep. So I feel like that the players that the players who have been struggling and the players who aren't going to Qatar, I feel like that this is Ten Hag's perfect opportunity to actually focus on individuals and say where they can improve, because Sancho might turn around to Ten Hag and say, you've been playing me off the left. Yes, I can play as an inverted winger, but I prefer to be more creative. So maybe then Anthony and Sancho can then battle out the right wing. Because I honestly think now, with Garnacho on the rise the way he is, Sancho's got a real issue, because you can't have Rashford, Garnacho and Sancho all fighting for that left wing
position. Said from the moment Sancho came in, you should be playing from the right. So I think he's good competition front and then the right.
I've always said that Sancho is better as a creative, whether he's playing at number 10 or he's playing as the right winger. I think obviously he can score goals. We've obviously seen that, but I feel like that he's not an out and out goal scorer, is what we should say.
Okay.
And I feel like he's better as a creative than a goal scorer.
Okay. I just want to sort of reflect on what you just said. And also what Niall was saying, that because I think the likes of what I'm hearing is that the what we call it, the deadwood, like Brandon Williams, Axel Tuanzebe, they're the ones that's going out for sure. Regarding Donny van de Beek, he had a bad luck ever since he arrived. Like, he wasn't picked by, he wasn't favored by Ole. Then he went on a loan. He got injured. He's back. So I'm saying that, Erik ten Hag knows this player. He knows his capability. There is a player in him. Rather if he stays or not, we will see until summer. But I don't think he will go in January. There's a lot of things brewing at the moment, and we will only find out after the World Cup. Definitely. But there's also talks about another midfielder. In that case, it's Enzo Fernandez. From Portugal. So, but what I know is that we're looking at striker for sure. We're looking at a right back, and these are the two main priorities, and potentially to get another midfielder in place. To see if Fred will get his contract or not. But there was a report coming out that he doesn't favor to give him a contract. So
hopefully not.
And we know that Erik ten Hag doesn't give contracts just easily. They need to earn it in a way. Hey, welcome back, Phil. You're right.
Yeah, I've heard Rashford and Shaw have to prove that they're worth a new contract, whereas they're always getting a new contract straight up.
Martial is his favourite striker, is what I understood. He plays with his back against the goal. He's linking up plays. That's an Erik ten Hag striker. I think he's banking a lot of on his fitness and his form now, coming back for the remaining of the season. So that might mean that if we get Ronaldo out, we might get a sort of a Gapco type.
Can I just say as well, kudos to Rashford for finally acknowledging that he has a lot of bloody work to do if he's going to be a number 9. Finally acknowledged it, rather than thinking because he thought he could be, and I think Ten Hag said, not unless you do this, this, and this.
I've noticed in recent weeks that Sancho's also really bulked up, and I feel like that. I don't know if that's whether to be able to play that number 9 role when needed, or it's to fight off fullbacks, because as we know that
so maybe start taking them on again.
Yeah. Phil,
exactly, because
I just want to go over, we can talk about this. Let's get over the predicted lineup. Phil, are you right? You there? Yeah, you're muted, mate. Oh, poor bugger. You have some technical issues. Yep. No, we can't hear you, mate.
Are you sure you're not in Turkey, mate, and not Mick?
No, it's one of those days.
Yeah, you're muted.
The best of us.
You also had some technical issues then, like with BT, or was it Sky Broadband or something like that?
It's showing that it's muted, Phil.
Mick,
Yeah, you're muted,
Can
mate.
you unmute?
There we go.
Yeah.
He's back.
There we go.
Hello.
Hiya, you alright, pal?
Oh, he's having
That's
a
a fail.
nightmare. Yeah, you're not muted anymore, mate. That's it. All right.
Nah,
Should we go over
it's
the lineup?
connection.
Should I cover for you for the lineup then? Thumbs up.
Yeah, Mick, you start off with the lineup, then Phil, you jump in if you can.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do the lineup. What's happening with my lineup? There we go.
It's all going wrong.
Do we see the lineup here?
It's only in the small corner, and I can't really see it. I can.
Oh, we have some really issues, people. We have some issues. Let's go back to the main stage again.
1 second.
This is one of those days when we have technical issues. There we go. We are up and running, people. Let's see. This was actually a lineup done by Phil Standish by tradition. So, you know what? He's on mute, or he has some technical issues, but I will stand in for him. Yeah, I will be the Standish. Oh my God. Let me escape this. I am in my studio trying to view this, but I can read that he picked Dalot. No, Dalot is suspended. So exactly what we discussed on before, that he picked Malacia instead of Dalot as replacement. Yeah. We will go with Lindelof and Martinez, which I also agree. Since Mitrovic is suspended, we don't need that physical presence. Harry Maguire is also prepping to go over to the World Cup, so I don't think he will risk it. Then, of course, we will have on the left, we will have Luke Shaw. Do you think? Yeah, Luke Shaw. What do you guys reckon regarding that? That's pretty
regarding
much...
Luke Shaw?
Regarding the back four, the selection from Standish.
Yeah, it's about right, because no Mitrovic, like you said.
Yeah. Then we go moving up to the mid. I agree with Casemiro, Lindell, Eriksson, and Fernandes. This triangle picks itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I agree.
Unless Anthony's still not going to be playing, then I think McTominay or Danny will come into that.
Yeah. Maybe McTominay comes in as a sub, But again, I don't think Ronaldo will be playing because he wasn't spotted. If we move forward on the front line, it was reports that he wasn't training today, so he's also
apparently it's his daughter's birthday. Ronaldo Jr. didn't turn up either.
Okay.
For his team.
Yep. So we go by Martial to start as the front man. I 100% agreed on that. We'll play Rashford on the right and Garnacho on the left. But at the end of the day, I agree with this, Phil. I'm just not sure if it will be Rashford on the right or I don't know. We will see.
They might interchange. They might interchange throughout the game.
They will do. And that's the beauty with Rashford and Martial. They can interchange. I certainly believe that Fernandes should play there in the middle of the park, as a number 10. We dearly missed him, when he was suspended. People was slagging him, so but we clearly.
Can I just say something about Bruno? Go. I feel like that as a number 10, why is our number 10 getting suspended? I understand Dulot getting suspended, and I understand if the likes of McTominay was going to get suspended, but I feel like as a number 10, Bruno should not be getting the yellow cards that he has been getting.
Because of his mouth.
It's just undisciplined, and I feel like that. As much as I like Bruno, as much as I rate Bruno, I mean, for God's sake, I've got him on the back of my phone, so it's like
put it in the bin. Put it in the bin.
No, never, mate. Never. So, but no,
okay.
when it comes to Bruno, I feel like that is his only issue is just the undisciplinary, and I feel like that Ten Hag has probably had words with him about that. When I think
yeah, but he scored a beauty, fantastic too. It was so great to see Martial get his goal. Bruno got his goal. Scotty got his goal. It was just great to see. goals.
Hasn't Martial been involved in a goal or an assist in every game he's played this season, technically?
100%. I love Martial.
So strictly speaking, he's better than Haaland.
Oh, shut up.
What am I going to say?
Statistically,
Go away, Dan. Go away. Go away with your Bruno phone.
We don't talk about Haaland.
If Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher, Roy Keane, and all these pundits and professionals who literally come in their pants when it comes to statistics, strictly speaking, Martial is better than Haaland in every game he's played. Because Haaland didn't score today, he's been injured, and he's also. I'm just saying, is it a theory that Martial is better than Haaland? There's your title, Mick.
There we go. So we all agreed on this. People, leave your comments in the comment section. What do you think? I go with Ayush. Oh my God, Ayush, you usually Mr. Positive. What's going on? Not 0-0 United because players are not going for the win. They're focused on the World Cup. I don't believe so, Ayush. No.
I honestly think that. I mean, I said that if Mitrovic was playing, it would be a completely different game. And right, I still think that United will win 2-0. That's what I think. But I feel like that right now, if you were to offer me a scrappy 1-0 victory, right now, I would snatch your hand off.
Oh, yeah. I think I predicted 3-1 on the basis Mitrovic are playing, and he'll be getting that one, and it'll push us to get that third to score the win. But I think 2-0 now he's not playing.
Well, yeah, I say 2-0.
I'm with Phil Standish here. He was the one that's sending me the 4-1. He's on sign
language is outstanding.
Outstanding, Standish. 4-1. And I believe it's going to be a clean sheet. So 3-0 for me, Standish. But you can keep your 4-1. It will be a win. And anyone, let me check the score. What's Tottenham doing right now?
I think they've just won 4-3.
4-3. Wow.
Whoa. God.
Finally, Tottenham have scored goals.
Wow. And then Newcastle is playing Chelsea. So, yeah.
So Mick, obviously these are the fixtures right now. So obviously Man City lost 2-1 to Brentford. Bournemouth are beating Everton 3-0. Liverpool.
It's over now. It's full time.
Is it full time now? That's fine. Nottingham Forest beat Palace 1-0, and then obviously Spurs.
Can I just say the Forest one was weird, right? Because I saw it on the TV in front of me. It said 4-0 at one point to Forest. Then it said 2-0, and now it's just said it's finished 1-0 on Sky Sports News. All of that, so I don't know what the fuck's going on there.
Let me have a look at the stats. 1 second.
Either that, or I need to go for eye laser surgery like Mick's just had.
I mean, it say that. I mean, I'll let you know what you think of this. So, Nottingham Forest had 9 shots, but only 1 on target. So, if that's 4 goals, then I don't know where you're getting that from. And they had 32.
It's 3 disallowed goals, mate. I'm going to say that. Fuck it.
He had 3 offsides. So maybe that's from that. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Standish, you're on mute by my icon selection, but we got to defend your 4-1 and do your sign language. Yep. The most important thing, guys, is that we get 3 points. Then I don't really care. I don't really care who starts, and if somebody jumps on one leg, as long as we get those 3 points, we finish top 4, which we have a very good chance to do by the end of tomorrow, I think.
A draw will do now for Newcastle and Chelsea. A draw will do.
A draw. I fancy a Chelsea win, though.
No, but we want a draw. I think that's the best result for us.
Yeah.
Newcastle are going to win, I think.
I think they will.
What's even better is that my boss is a Chelsea fan, so I'll be messaging him, winding him up.
Yeah, and you'll be sacked in the morning, mate. Sacked in the morning.
Yeah, well, like Lampard's going to be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are, 18 hours away from kickoff from tomorrow, I reckon. So, boys, thank you for coming out. It's been a pleasure. I got to go and have my dinner. Chicken dinner, I think. Thanks for coming on. Young Daniel, where can people find you on your socials?
My Twitter is at Dan_Corf MU. MU being in capitals. And I have my own YouTube channel called Red Devils TV. You might have to scroll down a little bit as I'm not as big as the United Standish, Stretford, Paddock and Mick. So if you scroll down a little bit, I've got, I think it's 76 subscribers right now. So
Keep scrolling.
No, I mean,
if you could keep subscribed, I'd really appreciate it.
yeah, please subscribe to Daniel. He's doing great content. He's also doing a lot of YouTube shorts. I actually learned something from you today. Like, I'm starting to do shorts as well because of you, to be honest. So big up.
Really?
Like, yeah, seriously, you're doing great shorts.
And Dan's going to do spaces because of me.
Yeah.
That's very true.
I'm in Turkey at the moment, so I'm wearing shorts. I didn't know about YouTube shorts until But anyway,
you'll see Nick tomorrow in the pool with a pina colada talking about Fred and talking about the United score and stuff.
No, I met some beautiful people on the road here, and a lot of Turkish fans. We're all getting together at the bar to watch the game tomorrow, so I'm looking forward for that. But
sounds good.
Yeah, so have some dinner, enjoy the night. Wife hasn't divorced me as of yet. She's with me, so deferred. But I gotta go. And thank you guys for coming. Thanks Dan for jumping on. I know you've been working. Take a few more Red Bulls. Niall, pleasure as usual. Phil,
it was great to hear Phil today.
Yeah.
Cheers, Mick.
We were looking forward
for
having. Yeah. I mean, we haven't had a stream for a while since I've been traveling, had my eye surgery and stuff like that. But, this is technology for you, isn't it? But guys, please enjoy the rest of your evening. For the viewers, thanks for interacting with us. Please like and subscribe. And glory, glory, Manchester United. And never forget, green and gold until we're sold. The Glazers out.
Cheers, See you guys. See you later, Dan. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys. See you later.
Okay, are you happy? Hey, whatever, I'm the gaffer. I make the team, hey.
Yeah, it is whatever. Support the team for fuck's sake. It's a rebuild, Erik ten Hag. We love you, we support you. Please like and subscribe for our channel. This is Mick Ruby from Mufc Realist TV. Yeah. So thanks for watching, and while you're at it, please check out the other contents that we have of Mick Ruby and Realist TV.